physically the energy was greater than like I ever experienced, even like as a college athlete. To the point where I wished I was like eating this way when I was, you know, playing college ball. David Windsor from the United States, 25 years old.
Yeah, what did you used to have, like your health-wise? How did you used to feel?
I was a college athlete. I played basketball my whole life. Got a scholarship to play Division II basketball, and I grew up eating the typical American diet. And growing up as an athlete, you're always told protein, protein, protein. How many grams of protein can you get? So I always did that: the whey proteins, the meat, beans, and I always made sure I get a decent amount of vegetables and fruits. And so in college, I was playing. I battled through a bunch of nagging injuries, but I had a pretty successful career. And after the fact, I got into coaching. I was a graduate assistant coach for the same school. And when I started doing that, I was able to look more into what I was eating and start buying my own food instead of eating what my parents had fed me or what was fed at the cafeteria at school. So that's when I really started looking into different diets, because I was technically healthy from your normal standard. I was always had a good physique. I was a college athlete, real athletic, but I always knew there was something better out there. Like I really wanted to feel like on top of the world, and just the way I was eating, even though like I looked aesthetically healthy, it just wasn't doing it for me. So I started looking into different ways of eating, and I eventually came across veganism, and I still question it, because you're always taught certain things about food, like you need animals for protein and dairy for calcium, things like that. So when I was always skeptical, but I'm the kind of guy, like I'll just dive into research, see what's this going on. So I got into like the ethical animal side and the environment, and that's what really triggered me to really go. I watched this video on YouTube by Gary Urosky, the best speech you ever had, and that just really hit home. But I still, after making the switch at that time, I still wanted that diet that really fit, because I started realizing that vegan wasn't just one diet. There's so many different ways you can do it. So again, I was just getting used to being vegan, and about 4 or 5 months into it, I came across raw foods. A friend had brought it up because I was starting to eat just more fruit. I saw like a couple influencers on Instagram and YouTube eating high fruit diet. They weren't even fully raw. They were just eating more fruit to get more carbohydrates instead of like rice and potatoes. Yeah. And when I started doing that, a friend brought up, was like, oh, you should go raw. And I was at the time of my life, I wasn't making that much money. I was still a graduate assistant coach, and I was like, I don't know if I can afford eating that much fruit and all that produce and organic everything. But I decided to dive into it, even though like I didn't think I had the funds to do it or the knowledge. So I got a couple books, did some YouTube research, and around a little over 2 years ago, I started my raw food journey with being fruit-based fruitarian. And from that standpoint, what I really first experienced was just the mental clarity and the light feeling. I experienced it a little bit with just going vegan, getting rid of the animal products, but with just being fruit-based and eating a great deal of vegetables, it just was just light. The mental clarity was there. Started to connect more with nature and my spirituality as well. And then physically, the energy was greater than like I ever experienced, even like as a college athlete. To the point where I wished I was like eating this way when I was playing college ball. And then I really started having relief from the aches and pains that I had. So even like a year or two after playing college ball, I still suffered from pain in my knees, pain in my ankles. I sprained my ankle all the time, always having knee pains, back pains from falling a lot. And I just don't have that anymore. That kind of just dissipated.
So is it the old injuries that disappeared, or is it not getting any new ones?
The old injuries.
Right.
I wasn't as active after I stopped playing college ball. That's like high level you know, fitness, high level athleticism, you know, you're going at it every day. But I still was working out every day, but just not at the same degree. But I know I could if I went to. Like, I really do wish I had that college athlete motivation to be fit to that degree. So I know I could, but you know, now I'm just happy with just the mindfulness that comes with the diet and just the overall good feeling with the body. I don't need to be some guy in the gym just, you know, going at it hard just to feel good about himself. I can just, you know, go in, get my workout in, and you know, get some light movements in that really benefit the body than actually the really you know, hardcore, a lot of stress on the joints exercises.
So aren't you worried about protein deficiencies?
Not at all. Not at all. At first I was, just because of what you were taught, but you know, once you really start experience what you're feeling, and once you start to realize you don't need as much protein as you think, and that fruits and vegetables really, you know, supply all the amino acids you need, and you can just look at me, like I get the questions a lot, like how are you maintaining on, you know, a raw food diet, let alone vegan diet? And again, I just say it's nature. It's not the animal products. Looking at other animals on the planet, the biggest, strongest animals eat raw plants. They don't even cook their food either. They eat raw foods.
So can you sum up like the main benefits you got from a fruit-based diet?
Yeah, increased energy, the cleanest digestion, you know, spiritual and mental clarity, you know, anti-inflammatory, you know, inflammation, all my joints is down, and those are the biggest things, and really just realizing who I am, almost in an awakening sense, realizing what I really wanted to do in life, and not settling for just being normal. Like, it really allowed me to be like my raw, true self. Especially when you eat a certain way that's different than the population, it almost forces you to really get accustomed. Okay, you're a little different now. So that's the main benefits I received.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, thank you, Louise.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
If you would like to know more about how I got well naturally, you can go to my website and get more information. Here you can get a Get Started guide where I tell you all about the diet and lifestyle that I used, and you can also download my top 5 tips totally free. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.